Greetings and welcome to another Diablo 4 video. Today I want to talk about the journey to upgrading your gear, a few tips. It's mostly about what order do you want to go with, and then some other stuff to look out for. So let's get right into it. I have some gear here. So you have a good drop or a decent drop that you want to wear. And what do you do first? Maybe it has two out of three stats that are great, but one stat is not so great. Let's assume we want this one. So this is an intelligence roll and a max life roll, pretty decent on legs. And then there's fire resistance, which we cannot make much use of because we already maxed out. So the journey for these pants is as follows. First of all, if you want to wear this, you of course want to temper it. You always want to temper your gear, no matter what, no matter if they're just rares, sacred, ancestral, legendaries. But tempering is of a, let's say, finicky nature. It's very RNG dependent. So what you want to do is do that first before you invest more heavily into that piece of equipment. Because it can very well be that you are tempering it and you're not getting what you want, you're getting maybe quite the opposite of what you want. But to make it like an example, we just do it like right here. You can see for pants it's pretty obvious, like one defense and one utility temper. But for defense, for example, if I want a specific resistance, these are 5 different rolls, which is a lot. For the others, thankfully it's only 3 different, but we don't know the weighing of this, so keep that in mind. We don't know if this is a 33% chance per affix here or if it's different. I'm just assuming it's 33%, so it's pretty decent. Let's say we want Frost Nova cooldown reduction, so we temper it. And hey, we got on the first roll, but it's not a perfect roll. It's kind of mid on the more on the low end roll, 16.5% out of possible 20%. But first of all, we are happy. And we keep that for now and look at the second one and see how important is utility for us. And there's one affix that is pretty nice and some of the builds that is Frost Nova size in Sorcerer Control. But Sorcerer Control has 4 different possible rolls, which means guessing the weighing is the same, it's 25% chance to roll exactly what we want. It's also Worldly Fortune, which I'm kind of fond of, especially the chance to stun or the chance to freeze. But again, it's wildly RNG dependent. So we want to go for Frost Nova size here. So we roll Sorcerer Control. We get Freeze Duration. We're not happy. We're not sad. We're not mad. But it's like meh. Freeze Duration can be utilized, can be used with Frost Nova or other freeze effects. But of course, not what we want. So we re-roll it. And as you can see, we only have 5 temper re-rolls. So we really need to weigh in our own priorities on what stats do we want. Do we want to roll a better Frost Nova cooldown reduction here, since we only have 16.5%? Are we fine with that and we roll another Source of Control? So we roll Source of Control again and we get Frost Nova size. So that was lucky. All right. But now you might think, okay, now I can roll for defensive again and get a better Frost Nova cooldown reduction. Be careful here. There is a good chance that we will not get Frost Nova cooldown reduction again. So now you have to make a choice. And we're just gonna test this out. We have 4 more rerolls, and let's just roll for it. We get 0.5% more Frost Nova. This is like a great example. I mean, I never get like these perfect or like near perfect rolls on the first try, but we want more. Oh, now we got Cold Front. Damn it, we really need cooldown reduction. But hey, we got 2 more rerolls left. We get Chill Slow Potency, that's really bad. And the last roll, we get... okay, this is not this is not what usually happens, so keep that in mind, please. But we actually got what we wanted. It's not perfect rolls, but we got what we wanted on both affixes. This is actually a great pair of pants. Anyways, just keep in mind the initial 16.5% of Frost Nova cooldown reduction that we got is good enough. Don't brick your item just because you want more and more. wait for another pants, especially if they're not greater affix. Like this pants is drop all the time. And just try again then before you break it completely, before you just remove your affix for something that you cannot really use, like this slow, what was it? Chill slow potency. I don't even know who would use that. But yeah, there you go. Okay, then what is next? Next up, we do the enchantment. And enchantment is even worse. You have your 3 affixes here, and you can choose one that you want to reroll. Wait, which one did we do? This one, sorry. And we want to reroll fire resistance here, and you can look at the possible affixes, and it's quite a lot. Life per second, and most of them we don't even want. We actually want the armor. We need armor on some piece if you're not running the Juggernaut aspect or have like a greater affix on armor somewhere. But maybe you want to have, let's say, Frostbolt. The weighing of these affixes is not equal. So here it is known that some of these, and I suspect the better ones, for example here the plus skill ones, will rarely occur in your enchanting, and we can try that a few times. I really don't want to spend so much money, and you can see first 2 choices, fire resistance again, which we just rerolled, which, you know, is 1% higher, but who gives? And then healing received, which is even worse. We try again, we get life per second and dodge chance, and we try again. Shadow resistance, like all these trash affixes technically. And there's armor at least, so we are kind of happy with that. But yeah, I don't want to go any further. These are now decent, very good pants. But if you really want to go for the +2 skills, try to find these pants. Try to find pants that have +2 skills, because it's way easier to roll max life and intelligence. It's the same with like amulets with like +2 passives, like here +2 inner flames. I'm lucky to have a greater affix on this. It's really, really hard to find it. Sorry, to re-roll it with enchantment. It's also really hard to find it. Of course, you have to, if you come from Diablo 2, you have to think back on all these amulets that we gambled and that were like +2 to skills, but didn't have FCR, and then they had FCR, but only +1 to skills or nothing to skills. It's the same thing. It's not weighed equally, and it might be okay because it's super strong and it's super rare. Little tip, if you want something specific, like for example, we are looking for amulet with +2 devouring blaze, so I'm gonna use my obols and gamble for amulet. And if you want something specific like that, oh wow, movement speed, then don't hesitate to also look for amulets that are not greater affix. Because for me right now, I'm only looking at greater affix, and everything else I sell. But for amulets, when it comes to amulets, the passive, like plus devouring blaze, for example, is so rare that I would trade it for a I would use a non-greater affix amulet, probably. It depends on the other stats, just to have the devouring blaze, instead of like waiting on a greater affix amulet that also has devouring blaze or even has a GA on devouring blaze. That's a little tip right there if you're looking for something specific. Same for legendary aspects. And then, okay, now we have our little pants here, and then of course we can put in our aspect, whatever it is. Maybe we want concentration. There you go. And then, as the last step, we do Masterworking, which for some reason I cannot click. Why? What's happening? Okay, I cannot look. I cannot click on Masterworking. Let me quickly relog. What did I do? What happened? Anyways, the last step, of course, is Masterworking, and there's another handy tip. So keep with me for a second. Stay with me. That I can show you on my actual gear, if it lets me. Why Why is this a bug? They just released a patch and I cannot use Masterworking. Okay, anyways, I can just talk through it. So Masterworking, if you don't know how it works, you get certain materials if you run the pit. You need rune shards for the pit. And then you get Opticide at the first levels, and then later you get Ingolith, and then later you get Nefarian. So for Masterworking, it has 12 levels, and the first 4 need Opticide, some other materials that you have plenty of anyways, and then of course gold. And then every level gives plus 5% to all the affixes on this item. I'd rather maybe use a legendary as an example, because this unique effect does not get like anything plus. Well, I want to use this example anyway. So the affixes here, they get plus 5%. Like you can see, the range here also gets higher, but of course only the one that rolled will get higher, like 17.3 vulnerable damage. This is masterworked 4 times, and then there's a threshold on Masterworking 4. One of the affixes get plus 25%. So you can see movement speed got a huge bump. It is also reflected in another color. It is blue. And then on Masterwork level 8, the same happens again. It can hit the same affix. You can see it here. I hit intelligence twice, so it's 50% higher. Actually, I don't know if it's 25% and then 25% of that, like 25% of 125%, or like in total 50%. I need to check that up. But anyways, the critical hit of Masterworking landed twice on here. And I don't have a 12 out of 12 because it's still hard to get the Nefarian. But you get the idea. The tip is, don't invest too much at the beginning into the higher levels of Masterworking. Try to get the 4 out of 12 on the affix that you want. For example, this one. I really want the critical hit from Masterworking on damage reduction from close enemies. So I re-roll this, and this is what you can do. You can re-roll your Masterworking. Tempering you cannot re-roll, but Masterworking can, well, let's say reset. You can reset to 0 out of 12. Costs 5 million gold, which is a lot in the current economy, and then some mats that you have plenty of. So it will go back to 0 out of 12, and you can now use again Opticide and some materials and gold to put it to a higher level. I did this for these boots a couple of times, but it does not hit the damage reduction from close. I did it with this one, I think 3 times, and now I have more damage reduction from close. I believe this was also 16.1% or something like similar like these boots. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now, this item. It's not perfect in every roll, but it's still very decent, and it's perfect in the damage reduction roll that I really want. So I could farm for more soulbrands, I could farm for a better one, a better one, a better one. And to be frank, the unique effect here could be 4% better. That would be great. Right now I'm happy with the 4 out of 12 masterwork. After I have accomplished this with my other gear that I know will be with me for a long time, I will go for the 8 out of 12. And then the decision has to be made. Like if 8 out of 12, if the critical hits damage reduction from close, I'm super happy. If it hits something else, do I re-roll and start over again? I don't know. You need to figure that out for yourself. Like for example, with this helmet, it hit intelligence twice, which is great. But cooldown reduction maybe could have been better. Maybe. Since intelligence is a greater affix and greatly adds to our damage, I'm pretty happy with this. So yeah, this is all the things that I can say about upgrading your gear. And of course, you also have gems. Gems you just craft, you slot in. They are pretty expensive nowadays, and you probably won't have all the fragments. I mean, here I can make 1 royal ruby. That's like almost nothing. I can actually make a royal amethyst for my weapon. And also I can add a socket here. The materials for adding socket are also pretty rare. I only have like 6 left, and I have used it maybe 5 times, and you mostly get it from world bosses. But I think this changed with this current patch, not quite sure. So let's upgrade this. This is the last upgrade that I can think of in terms of your gear. Other than, of course, aspects and what you want to do in terms of aspects. Of course, you want to always if you don't need the item, salvage it for the better aspect roll. As you can see, if you go to a vendor or to the smith, you cannot see it here because I already salvaged so many aspects of this in my codex, but it will show a little icon which indicates that it will go into your codex. As you can see, it's pretty hard to get max rolls. I still haven't found a max roll on Flamethrower and some of the other ones like Ever Living. But there you go. I think this video got longer than I anticipated. Seems to be some masterworking bug with the current patch. Well, time to farm some materials, right? Hope you learned something. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you in the next one. Good luck, have fun, and goodbye.